Shalom. First of all, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who has taught us this truth, and peace and salutations to the chosen and elect. I'm Ari Zabak from the GMS Dallas Camp, and this is a continuation of Revelation, the 12th chapter, starting at verse 7 on down. All right. And it reads, verse 7, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels. And what that's going into is the rebirth of the Roman Empire, which is today called America, and NATO and EU. And those are the military aspect of those countries coming together, which is NATO and EU, who is today you would call Esau, Edom, the so-called white people, white man. This is future prophecy that we believe, will happen in our time, with, World War III brewing up, Armageddon, as it is described. And these devils are, ready to fight against, our power, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, and the angels and the chariots. So pretty much that's what that war is the, the armies stop fighting each other in World War III, and then turn around and come together and try to fight our power for our deliverance. And let's get that in Daniel chapter 12. Let's get that. All right. And it reads, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And what that is going into is that, Michael, the archangel, he is the, who's going to fight for us. His name in Hebrew means Mayakala, who is like thy power. And he's going to come back, with Yahweh Shai. And, they're going to fight against, the armies that's fighting against each other in World War III. And, these, those angels that you're reading about, and let's get that, go back to Revelation. Those angels that we read in verse 7 are the aircraft from the Space Force that's trying to fight against Yahweh Shai. And let's read that again. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels. And there's another account, which is in Ezekiel chapter 29. Let's grab that. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 29, verse 3. Speak and say, thus said Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon that lied in the midst of his rivers, which had said, my river is mine own, and I have made it for myself. And this here is Edom, Esau, Edom, showing you that Esau, Edom has the same mindset as Pharaoh, the king in Egypt, because it's likened unto, Pharaoh, Esau heart and pride is hardened and think that we Israelites are his people and not the Most High. So he has that same mindset as Pharaoh. Also, let's get the account in Second Esdras to prove that. All right, this is Second Esdras, chapter 13, and it reads, "And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof." Verse 3, "And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And that man is Yahushua." And verse 4, "And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire." And these are all the nations or the armies, when it says all they that burned who heard his voice. Those are the nations, all the nations' armies that's being burned up. Verse 5, "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea." And that dragon is in Revelation, the 12th chapter and verse 7, which is Esau, Edom, NATO, EU, and those multitude of men. And it's not a dragon. It's talking about men here. Verse 6, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it." And that mountain is a chariot that is speaking of. I think it's roughly paraphrasing, when Yahweh shall return, he's not going to meet, Esau, Edom as a man. And the scripture says, even as we reading it here, he's going to be, again in verse 6, I read it again. "Behold, I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it." And that's on top of the chariot. And verse 7, "But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not." And this is, Yahweh going in, to put the spirit on those devils to fight, because, they're going to be in amazement to, on what's taking place right here. "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yes, they durst fight." And that's that spirit being put on those devils, to fight against our power. Verse 9, "And lo, as he saw the violence, of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only," verse 10, "but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire." And those are laser beams from the chariots. "And out of his lips a flaming breath. And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests." And that's a concentrating, burning heat, concentrated heat that's going out from those laser beams. And verse 11, "And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smoke, and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid." And that's the destruction that Yahweh is going to bring, because when that happens, and that's the beginning of captivity right there. Yeah, that's the beginning of captivity right there. All right. So let's go back to Revelation 12 and 8. All right. And there was war in heaven. I'm starting from verse 7 again. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought his angels. And that's what we just covered, you know, all of the Esau, Edom, beginning with America and NATO, EU. World War III going to be taking place. And in the midst of World War III, our power is going to return. And these devils going to stop fighting each other and try to fight our power. And we already just read how they're going to lose. In verse 8, and prevail not. Neither was there a place found any more in heaven. And we just read that in 2 Ezra chapter 13 and verse 11, where it says dust and smoke in heaven, which means in heaven, where it says neither was there a place found any more in heaven, means rulership. Esau is no longer ruling. All right. Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast down, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, which only means deceiver, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And that's Esau, Edom, as a nation brought down to slavery, the one who deceiveth the whole world, as it is written in Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. That's how he deceived the world, covering the faces of, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He painted over our judges, All right, let's get that in. Let's move on to verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before thy power day and night. And this is talking about Esau, Edom. He was our accuser, and he does these same things today. And let's get that account in Habakkuk. Let's get that, where he accuses us day and night. Like it. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 15. And it reads, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. And that's what this devil does. He understands that when we're not, when we're not converted in our mindset, knowing that who we are as a people, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments as we should, Esau give us the philosophies of his world, of different doctrines, of who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. He give us that. We drunk off the ways of the world, like, being moles and, sodomy and all of those things, unrighteous decrees. These are the things that he does and sets snares and traps for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you Israelites. But and the minute he set that snare, he going, look, Lord, they going off. Your people can't get it. They on drugs, this and that, but he's the one that's putting the drugs, in the neighborhoods so you can go off. And that's him, giving us, putting that bottles in our face, making us drink it. And then, saying, hey, he's causing us to sin. And that's looking on our nakedness, us sinning. All right. Let's get that back in Revelation chapter 12. All right. Verse 11. Oh, let's go read that verse 10 again, get the better understanding. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now this comes salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and of the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night, causing us to sin with the different philosophies and the ways of this world. Verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. And we know that's Yahweh Shai. And by the blood and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. And the blood of the Lamb is this knowledge, that we have, which is Yahweh Shai blood that was shed for the remission of the elect's, chosen in the elect's sins. So that's what that testimony of and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, which is this knowledge, and of the word of their testimony. And they love not their lives unto the death. Because we've been converted, we have the truth now. We've been quickening by our spirit. In John 6 and 63. All right. Verse 12. Therefore, rejoice ye heavens, and that ye dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And the angels are the one that's dwelling, in them, in the heavens. This is when Esau brings martial law. And let's get that account. And when he's coming down on us with great wrath. So let's get that account in Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 again. We went over it once before, but. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for thy children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered. And in the middle of that verse where it says, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. That's the time of Jacob's trouble. And this is when Esau brings martial law. These are the times that we are about to approach, when all hell break loose. Let's get that in Isaiah chapter 10. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 5. And it reads, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. And we understand this here is twofold. And this is speaking of a righteous anger, that this is going into. In verse 6, I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take a spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. All right. And this is talking about 2/3 of Israel. The Most High is going to send Esau's army, against this hypocritical nation here that is speaking about in this verse. We are a spoil and a prey that's tread down in the mire streets. Meaning that when you hear a mire of the streets, it's like we're like shit. Pretty much, that's spoiling the praise the nation of Israel. All right, we're gonna move on to verse 12 in Revelation. All right. This is Revelation chapter 12. Therefore, rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And that short time meaning that he knows the prophecies. So we move on to verse 13. Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. All right. And this is going back in time, because the prophecies jump. They don't, read straight through, straightforward, like, from beginning to end. Sometimes the beginning is in the end and the end is in the beginning. But this is going back to Herod, waiting to hear the news from the wise men on Yahweh's location. And when nothing, there was no news given from the wise men, Herod felt like he was mocked. So Herod sent out the decree to kill all, the babes, the children that was 2 years and under. So, and you can get that account in Matthew. We can go ahead and get that in Matthew chapter 2, verse 18. Let's go ahead and get that. All right. This is Matthew chapter 2, verse 18. And it says, in Ramah was there a voice, lamentation and weeping, and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, because they are not. Verse 19, but when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, arise, and take the young child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead, which sought the young child's life. And he arose and took the young child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus did reign in Judea in the room of his father Herod, he was afraid to go thither. Notwithstanding being warned of the Most High in a dream, he turned aside into the parts of Galilee. And he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet. He shall be called a Nazarene, and so on. So in verse 2:18, that's where, it was prophesied that all the babies, would be from 2 years and under, would be killed. And, you really can go into this whole chapter and read more about the young child, I think it's really in verse 16, where it says, then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. All right. So let's go ahead and get Revelation 12, and we go over 13 one more time to get a better understanding. And when the dragon saw that he was cast out unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. And again, that was Herod feeling mocked from the wise men of not getting the news back on where our power is, Yahweh, when he was a child, and he sent out a decree to kill all children that was 2 years old and young. So verse 14, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half of a time from the face of the serpent. And this here is speaking about the deliverance in 70 AD. This is going into the wilderness, It's talking about Jerusalem in 70 A.D. Fleeing into the wilderness in north and western parts of Africa, where Jerusalem was encompassed by the Roman army, where the southern kingdom fled, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And that place that is speaking about here, where she is nourished for a time and times and time and a half from the face of the serpent, is talking about America, and that serpent is Esau. All right, verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And that flood is Esau's army, who is coming against Israel. And we can get that account in Isaiah. Let me read verse 16 as well. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And we'll get that account in Isaiah chapter 59. This is Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19. And it reads, So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua shall lift up a standard against him. And, that's the earth helping Israel when they escape. All right. Go back to Revelation chapter 12 and read that again. Verse 15 and 16. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And again, the flood is Esau's army who's coming against Israel, and the earth is helping Israel when they escape. All right. Verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keepeth the commandments of the Most High, thy power, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. And that's going into the elect. The elect is the one that this devil is making a remnant with, and that's starting with this truth, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that Esau is seeing, throughout the four corners of the earth, of our people waking up to who we are, and singing the new song. All right. And again, I hope this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the chosen elect. Shalom.